I'm so excited that it is advent calendar time. Today I'm going to walk you through the best and worst beauty advent calendars that launched for 2023. This is part 3 in my holiday sets video, so I will leave the playlist link down below. We've done 2 videos on Sephora sets so far, but today's topic is specifically advent calendars, so let's jump in. Okay, as usual, I split this up into 3 categories. We're going to start off with the sets that I think are the best value. Like, these are the advent calendars I definitely recommend checking out. The middle of the video is where we're going to put the ones that are not so bad. You know, they're an okay value. If you had your eye on this set, I say go for it. But then at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you the advent calendars that I highly recommend avoiding because they're a terrible value. And one of them, not only is it a bad value, but the reviews are kind of dangerous. We'll get there. Starting in the best category, funny enough, I think the best advent calendars come from retailers over brands. So there are a ton of different advent calendars from different retailers, but they do tend to sell out quickly. So everything I've included in today's video is in stock at the time of my filming. Hopefully it is in stock while you're viewing this also, but I want to start off with the one that I was like, wow. And it is from a site that I don't shop from too much, but I have before, and that is Lookfantastic. So I will say, when I'm talking about the advent calendars that come from different retailers, not everything in these sets is going to be cruelty-free, so I won't repeat that throughout the video, but I will just share that once now. But the Lookfantastic advent calendar retails for, actually, let me scoot over. That was a close one. Editing Kelly was about to have her work cut out for her. Okay, the calendar retails for $165, but the value is over $700. So this calendar specifically has one of the highest values compared to the actual cost that I have found anywhere. The only thing is, they do say right on the website, they're like, there are 12 full-size items in here. So I'm going through, I'm counting them. I'm trying to figure out what these 12 items are that are full-sized. And I'm counting and I only get 9. I'm like, okay, I must have counted wrong. I keep going back and back and back. And every time I'm never coming up with 12. So I'm like, where did they get this number from? And then I realized there are eye patches in here, and each one they're individually counting as a full-size product, which I'm not going to say is the most deceiving thing because those are full-size products, but just know they're not really 12 full-size products. It's more like 9. Regardless, there are a ton of big brands in this calendar. Sol de Janeiro, Color Wow, Coco and Eve. Iconic London, there is a full-sized Iconic London palette in here, and the palette actually retails for $62, which I will say already is probably overpriced for that palette. But that does add a lot of value to the calendar. Also, the lash serum that I use is the Grande Lash, and that is in here as a full size, and that retails for $68 individually. So if that is already your go-to lash serum, this might be a calendar to check out because it is in there. I should have said in the beginning, actually this is probably obvious, but I'm going to be spoiling all these calendars. So if you are a surprises person, you have been warned. I am not. I would never... Let me know your preference. If you're watching this, you're probably also not a huge surprises person. Don't get me wrong, I like a surprise, but I would not buy an advent calendar without knowing everything that's in it. For me, the fun is the opening it every day, but I kind of like to know everything that I'm going to get. I'm very particular. Okay, another retailer that is bringing us an advent calendar this year is Revolve. I don't necessarily think of Revolve for shopping makeup, but maybe I should because they actually have a lot of beauty brands on their website, and they have this advent calendar this year. It retails for $150 and the value is $481. Out of the 24 products that are in this calendar, 6 of them are full-sized, and I feel like the brands in here are even more exciting. Okay, we've got Tower 28, Kopari, Charlotte Tilbury, Summer Fridays, Euphoria, Dr. Barbara Sturm, J-Lo's brand. This one I feel like really is one of the best advent calendars that I've seen, not only in terms of value, but also the selection seems pretty nice. I think there are products in here that a lot of people would be pumped to get, whether this is something you're keeping for yourself or it's a gift. I think this would be a really great option. This next one is for the luxury lover, okay? This one is even more of a splurge at $225, but it includes $560 of value, and this is the advent calendar from Saks Fifth Avenue. So the products in here are extremely luxe. Some of the brands include Balmain, Gucci, Aesop, Charlotte Tilbury, Dr. Barbara Sturm. There's also some Olaplex in here. This one, it's definitely more of a splurge, But if you do prefer luxury products or you wanted a way to treat yourself, I think this could be a great option. Keep in mind, so many of these products are miniatures, but I definitely think there's an audience for this one. And I also think the box feels very luxurious, like the packaging and the way it's presented. It would be so beautiful to display on your dresser or your wherever you're gonna have your advent calendar that you're opening every day in December. Or do you open yours early? Let me know. Okay, one more that I think fits in the best value category before we get into the ones that are just okay and then not great. One more in the best category. This is from Bare Minerals. Bare Minerals has an advent calendar every single year. I love what they bring us every single time. It's a pretty good value. So this is called the 12 Days of Joy. It retails for $110 and the value is $213. There are 4 full-size products in here and 8 mini products, but the ones that are minis, I promise you there is a lot more product than you think, because a lot of the minis are in their powdered cheek products. So for example, you're getting a mini of the bronzer in the shade Warmth. That is their loose bronzer. That bronzer, when I tell you you need like 4 flecks of it to do your whole face, that mini might as well be a full size. Like, it's going to last you forever. I always rave about Bare Minerals. I think they're one of the most underrated brands out there, especially like in the beauty space. I just don't think they get the attention that they deserve because their products truly are some of my favorites. I go back to my Bare Minerals products all the time. They're such a consistent brand when it comes to like complexion products, and so much of that is in here. You're getting the mineral veil, the blush, the bronzer, you've got a lipstick, you've got a few of their skincare products, which I don't get as excited about, but I think this is a great option. Let's move into the okay value ones. So the calendar that I feel like I see the most every single year when we start talking about advent calendars, everyone wants to talk about the Charlotte Tilbury advent calendar. I feel like I pronounced Charlotte Tilbury a little bit weird just now, but this is called Charlotte's Luckiest Chest of Beauty Secrets. It retails for $210 and the value is $279. So right off the bat, the value is not as high in comparison to the actual upfront cost as some of the other ones we've talked about. So there is still absolutely a savings here, but it's not as significant as the ones that I put in the best section of the video. This one still though, I know so many people get excited about this. It oftentimes can sell out. So out of this, it's mostly minis. The only full-size products are the lip products, which is kind of funny because a lot of times for me, for a lip product, especially like a lipstick, like I'll take a mini because I'll never use that up anyways. A mini is basically a full size to me. You're also getting the new matte Pillowtalk wand. You're getting a mini of the Beauty Light wand in the shade Spotlight, which I do feel like is probably the most popular shade. So there is a chance if you're a big Charlotte Tilbury fan, there's a possibility that you already own that. Actually, I would say a lot of products in here are pretty popular from the brand. So again, there's a chance you might get some duplicates in here if you already own a few products from the brand. There's a little bit of skincare, a little bit of makeup. I think if you are a Charlotte Tilbury fan and you don't mind minis, I mean, here's the thing. With most of these advent calendars, they have minis. You have to like minis. But I think this is still a pretty good value. A lot of these minis are still gonna last you a significant amount of time. Now, I mentioned this in my sets video too. I think anytime we're looking at like advent calendars or makeup sets that are value sets, sometimes even if the value is there still might not be a value for you. So with this set, because the savings isn't as extreme as some of the other ones, I would recommend doing a little bit of an inventory on the products that are in here that you feel like you would use. Because if there are like 3, 4, 5 of these that you probably won't get a lot of use out of, I actually think it would make more sense to just buy $210 worth of the Charlotte Tilbury products that you do want instead of buying this. You know what I mean? That is something that I feel like I can get caught up in when it comes to advent calendars and value sets, because sometimes you're like, well, it's such a great deal. And I don't always actually pay attention to the fact that maybe these aren't really the products I want, even though it's a good deal. So especially with this one, like, you know, it is a good value, but it's not fantastic. So if you're not gonna use everything, maybe just buy a few of the products individually. One more I want to throw into the okay value, you know, it's not bad, it's definitely not bad, but it's not as phenomenal as some of the others, is the Christmas calendar from Olive and June. So they do this every year, and this is the 2023 version. It retails for $65 unless you are an Olive and June member. The membership price on this is discounted to $58.50. And to be an Olive and June member, it is a $40 annual cost to join the membership. So, you know, if you're already a member, there's a bit of a discount here, but I probably wouldn't recommend joining the membership just to get the discount. But the full value of this calendar is $127. So you might be thinking, Kelly, why isn't that in the great value set? It's almost like half the cost. That's because I look at this as something that a lot of the products don't necessarily have a super high value. Like, you're getting a scrunchie in here. Like, that was obviously added into the value of this box, but you know, is a scrunchie super valuable? I guess it depends, but you're also getting like nail stickers, nail files, nail brushes. Like, these are the type of things that sometimes I'll get in like a bundle or something, and then you think, okay, well, it's a good value because you're getting all these products in it, but how often will you use those products? Maybe you will, maybe you won't, but I don't think they necessarily hold as high of a value for the consumer as something like the nail polishes in the set. So you do have mini polishes in here, very festive holiday tones. You've got the green and the red. I think this is cute. I think if you are a nail fan and you like to do your own nails, especially different designs, and you would use the stickers and everything in here, I think it could be a really good advent calendar. But I don't know that it's going to be for everyone because some of the added products kind of just feel like extra filler that you may or may not use. That being said, I love Olive and June. That's what these nails are right now. Let's talk about the worst value sets, the ones that I think you should avoid. Starting off with a repeat from last year, this is still for sale. I've noticed that. I've done these for a few years now, and some advent calendars never sell out. So they are still selling them the next holiday season. Like, that's how you know. That's probably one to avoid. And the Forever Mood Holiday Candle Advent Calendar that retails for $75 at Sephora is still available. And I talked about this last year in my sets to avoid section. And when I mentioned it last year, it was more so that that's not a great value. You're getting 12 mini 1-ounce candles for $75. And just for comparison's sake, the full-size candles from Forever Mood that are 10 ounces retail for $42. So even though you get the nice variety with the 12 different candles, there's definitely not a savings there when you're considering the cost per ounce. And funny enough, I've heard wonderful things about Forever Mood candles, but I don't know if it's different packaging on these or what, but the reviews were actually scary. I noticed when I was looking this up for the video that it had like such a low rating on Sephora, and I'm like, why are there such low reviews? And I started thinking, okay, maybe it's because they also don't think it's a good value. No, I clicked on it, and so many of the reviewers were saying that these candles like really lit up, the flames were too high. And sometimes that happens if you're not trimming your wick down enough, but I saw that echoed so often in the comment section that I just don't know if it's something with the packaging of these minis. It seemed concerning enough that I wanted to note it in this video. I would definitely skip that set. But that being said, if you have a favorite candle from Forever Mood that you think I should try, let me know, because they've been on my list for a while. Next up, the Sephora Advent Calendar. This is from Sephora Collection. It retails for $49, and they say it is a $93 value. So the in-house brand at Sephora, like the Sephora Collection brand, is not cruelty-free, but I did still want to run through this because they have an advent calendar every single year, and I never think it's a great value. Even though when you look at the number that I just shared, the $93, that seems really high in comparison to the cost of the calendar. But I think of it similarly to the way I described the Olive and June calendar. Like, some of these are just random products in there that you are maybe a little bit unlikely to use, or if you will use them, they just don't necessarily have a super high value, even though Sephora says they do. For example, I feel like there's just a lot of little random things in here. A hair tie, a pocket mirror, face rhinestones, a singular nose strip. And don't get me wrong, there still are a few products in here with value, like there's a lipstick, there's a nail polish. But I think this is one of those sets where after you have opened every day of the calendar, you're left with a bunch of junk that you're like, okay, I don't really know what to do with this. And yes, $49 is a much lower price point than a lot of the other advent calendars we've talked about. But I think it almost makes more sense to take that $49 and buy a product that you actually want instead of a calendar full of a bunch of random things. Also in the bad value category, I have the advent calendar from NYX. So this is the 12 Days of Kissmas lip makeup gift set. It retails for $50 and the actual value is $60. So there's definitely not a huge savings here to begin with. This is another one where I'm like, Yeah, you're getting a lot of products in here. Don't get me wrong. It is very fun to open something every single day in an advent calendar. But for $50, I think it makes more sense to take that money and buy the lip products from NYX that you want in the shades that you will wear, instead of purchasing this calendar where there's really not a significant savings there. I will say, I think the packaging is super cute, and don't get me wrong, like I said, I love the act of opening an advent calendar, but that's why I like to get the ones from Trader Joe's, the little chocolate ones. At my Trader Joe's, I know you have to be there like the day that those come out or they're gonna sell out. But for me, I'm like, I would rather take that over a set like this that's not really gonna provide me a high value. I will have my full playlist linked down below, including the other Sephora sets videos, but I really hope that this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I will go ahead and see you in my next video. Bye.